Let me introduce you to Christian. Christian has just flown in from Ireland with the most incredible solid silver royal cigar box, a historic find. He found it, bought it on eBay. We're going to sell it. But first of all, hear the fascinating story. That thing, there's a Netflix series in that tour, could start here. Genuinely could. Hello, Netflix. I am picturing an idea for Shanghai at the moment, but anyway, never mind.
Yeah.
You start here. Right, chaps, this is very exciting. Christian, meet David.
David, it's a pleasure to meet you, and you too.
And Christian, tell us, where have you come from today?
I've come from Shannon in the County of Clare in Ireland, west of Ireland.
What a wonderful place to come from, mate.
Fantastic.
All the way to Ripon.
Absolutely, all the way to Ripon.
Yeah.
Took a long time to get here, but we got here eventually anyway.
How long did it take?
About 7.5 hours, I'd say.
Gosh.
With the exception of you picking us up this morning. But
well, that's true.
all
That's
told,
true.
yeah.
We'll have a nice chat in the car.
Yeah.
And we've all three of us been looking at this object for quite some time. Mm-hmm. So, Christian, tell our viewers at home, what is it? How did you find it? Why are you here?
It is very interesting, as you say, David. I like to spend every now and again a few hours, if I can, scrolling through eBay.
Right.
And looking for treasure. And I haven't found any treasure today, but I'm kind of hoping maybe this might be it, to be honest with you, no, it was something that grabbed my interest. It was simply listed as a cigar case or a cigarette case.
Right.
Possibly silver.
Really?
But what grabbed my attention, David, was the fact this portrait, and as you said yourself, you will put in some shots after. The portrait for me was spectacular. I just knew that this person was somebody.
Right.
You know, is it naval? Is he a king of some description, a prince of some description? It just really grabbed me. The fact that we actually have engraved signatures as well on the front of this case, I think, is quite stunning. I felt that it was attesting to something.
Right. Okay.
Possibly
so how did you feel? You see it on eBay. Was it an auction?
Yes.
It was an auction?
It was an auction, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And you think this is something just a bit special. And I can see, David, can't you see? Look at the yacht.
Yeah,
look
absolutely.
At that yacht. We know boat people love spending lots of money on anything boat related, so that would get me excited.
Absolutely, David, yeah. And to be honest with you, once I realised, as I flicked through the pictures, that there was the picture of the yacht as well, it got me very excited. So much so that I spent hours, way too many hours probably, on the Saturday and the Sunday. Well, more so on the Friday and the Saturday, I beg your pardon. And as I said, I had nothing to start on because there is a script with the actual enamel portrait of the yacht. I couldn't work out what the language was.
No.
I couldn't figure out where the script had come from. To be honest with you, I'd gone everywhere from Indochina to Singapore to China itself, Japan. I even came up, shipping, I suppose, through North Africa as well. I'm even Googling, 2 funnel steamships, famously. I really tried everything that I possibly could, but to no avail.
Okay.
So
you didn't know very much about it when you bought it?
I actually did.
Oh, you did? You did a lot of research.
What happened was, I happened to be watching a fairly, I suppose, well-known, we'll say, antiques program on YouTube.
Which one? Which program?
it was Bargain Hunt, I believe.
Oh, Bargain Hunt. Yeah, you can mention that.
Yeah,
I'm on
I
it.
can indeed. Yeah, thank you very much. Yes. And the obviously, whoever had hosted this episode of Bargain Hunt, there was a little bit of a run over into a news headline, which was reporting an incident in Thailand.
Right.
So straight away, I saw somebody, it was outside a building, and there was script.
No.
Yeah, and I said, this is the script that's on the portrait, the enamel portrait of
You
the
can
ship.
thank Bargain Hunt, Christian.
Absolutely.
A lot of people have a lot to thank Bargain Hunt for.
Absolutely. So,
okay, so you discovered this is Thai.
it's Thai.
So then what did you do?
Yeah, I immediately thought of a good friend of mine who was married to a lady from Thailand.
Right.
So I thought to myself, I'll take a picture. Let's get it straight over to him.
Oh my gosh. How long did this take?
Yeah,
weeks or
This
something.
is brilliant. I want to say it's a treasure hunt.
All right.
But auction is finishing on Sunday evening, so
Right.
my interest is really peaked now this time.
My God.
So I get the script away anyway, I picture this, she comes back with a translation literally within 5 minutes to say it's the royal yacht, and I don't know if my pronunciation is correct, but the Maha Chakri,
Right.
and it has reference to a dynasty year,
Which would be what in our yearly system?
1897.
1897. So this is Queen Victoria's 60th anniversary. Does it have anything to do with that? I wonder.
Interestingly, I do know that this particular gentleman, who turned out to be obviously Chulalongkorn, I think they pronounce it, King Rama V.
He's the king. He is the king.
He is the king. That's who this portrait turned out to be, because we've got the royal yacht.
I'll tell you what, David, that's the closest you'll ever get to meeting the king.
Yeah, well, you can imagine my excitement, obviously, when I suddenly discovered that. Wow, this is a portrait, obviously. No, listen, it did take me to search through a few images.
Right.
And once I was convinced, I said, that is definitely the man. I was able to make the comparison. You know, we've got a royal yacht. It's obviously, by the way, the dynasty year, as I say, tied up with 1897, which this man was on a rather grand European tour in 1897.
Okay. Meeting other royal households, I assume.
Absolutely, David. It turned out that obviously Siam at the time was under immense colonialist pressure, threatening its independence.
Yeah.
This king, you know, he's documented as being a very wise man.
Yeah.
And he was very aware that obviously raising the national image, and indeed maybe attracting some influential friends will go a long way in protecting Siam's
right, because it never
sovereignty.
was colonised, I don't think, Tyler.
I think there was various small concessions maybe to the French,
to the French,
British.
I know the French there in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. But
I think there was small concessions at the time, you know. Obviously, modernisation he felt would be key in raising the national identity. In governance, in infrastructure, in improving people's quality of lives.
Yeah.
And he knew, therefore, he said, look, if we can do this, raise our national profile, people might look at us a little bit differently.
Okay, so this was a political tour,
absolutely,
a flag-waving tour.
Absolutely.
So you work all this out.
Yes.
Now let's get back to the box. Is it a cigar box or is it a cigarette box?
We feel maybe cigar. Would you agree?
Do you
I
feel
just think
cigar?
it's a little bit big for, it's kind of an in-between size, isn't it?
Cigar.
It's a little bit big for cigarettes.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
quite deep enough for cigars, but I would lean towards cigars, I think.
Lean towards cigars. It makes it a bit posher. It's a posh thing anyway.
Yeah.
But so this is the king.
Absolutely.
Did he make many of these?
I'm not too sure, David, to be honest with you. The only other example I can find that sold in auction looks to be about 2011, I believe.
Exactly that object.
Exactly, here in the UK.
Right.
But internationally, I can't. I actually did recently find what was documented as a replica
Really?
of that case that was made. Now, it was done for a particular businessman. It was encrusted with jewels and everything else as well at the time. Interestingly, as I say, as you made reference to, as part of this European tour, in 1896, I believe Britain and France signed what was the Anglo-French treaty.
Right.
Essentially, they said that each party would consult the other before they interfered with Siam's sovereignty.
Right.
Which was rather...
It was very good of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Essentially, it was nothing really to do, obviously, with you know, there was no respect paid, I suppose, to Siam in this, other than they wouldn't go to war with each other over Siam. So you can imagine this king, Rama V, Chulalongkorn, obviously sitting back in Siam and thinks, we've got to react.
Yes, okay,
You know?
yeah.
But he is also very aware that you can't afford to go to war with Britain or France.
No.
So hence we have the European tour of
Okay,
1897.
so we've got a gentle tour, it's gentle politics,
Correct.
it's making friends, showing who he is.
Soft
And
power.
what did you discover when you found the almost identical box selling in the UK?
Yes.
Was there a backstory in that auction, and what did they say about
Yeah,
the box?
absolutely. Well, the interesting thing about it was it was documented that apparently the boxes were commissioned at the king's personal expense.
Okay, so he did commission a number of them.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And they were rendered or they were given to people or presented as gifts to people who rendered royal service
Right.
with the king at the time. I believe the signatures are of his closest entourage that accompanied him, along with his own signature, obviously, opposite the portrait as well, of course.
So these are very grand royal gifts, David. I mean, doesn't that just get your juices flowing? I mean, this is a beautiful, perfect auction lot, isn't it?
It's a fabulous lot.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the enamel's perfect on it.
Yes.
That's what's beautiful
Really
about it,
good
David,
look at the
isn't it?
enamel,
Yeah.
it's gorgeous.
It really, really is, yeah.
I have have seen the version which popped up at auction some years ago.
In 2011, yeah.
Slightly different, the enamel plaque, and it was coloured. Polychrome,
Was it?
polychrome enamels on
Interesting.
it.
Okay. Would that make it more valuable?
I think it
or...
would be a little bit more desirable.
Okay. Yeah. But condition of
Condition-wise, it's really. I mean, the hinge is very stiff, nice. Doesn't look like it's being used much. You know how I like a crisp and clear hallmark.
You do.
Unfortunately, it's a little bit soft, a little bit rubbed.
Okay.
Yeah.
But nothing wrong with that. That's just a part of the
fine.
manufacturing. It's not
The
rubbed
enamel's
through
the
you.
big thing.
Yeah,
the enamel's
absolutely.
in good order. It's by William Neal, Birmingham silversmith, hallmark for 1897, so that all fits
Bang
in
on.
nicely.
Bang on.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's just in great condition, great
What a
story.
find. And it's in as found condition. You haven't cleaned it, Christian?
No, I haven't touched it. No.
Top man.
I learned from you guys.
Did you?
Yeah, don't touch it. Don't touch
Clasp's
it.
nice and stiff, and yeah, it's great.
I mean, anybody who collects silver and anything related to novelty or cigars, it's just got everything. Boating, it's got everything. But did you, in your little bit of research, discover how many of these boxes were made?
Didn't say how many.
No, but obviously not many. It's not going to be giving these things willy-nilly.
I mean, you're probably not more than 100, I would say.
More than 100
Not
or less.
more.
Not
Not
more.
more.
No, certainly not, I wouldn't say.
Okay.
So we've got records of just one selling, Christian.
One selling is all I found so far
And
today.
how much did that sell for?
I think it was originally estimated at between £500 and £700.
Yeah.
And it ended up selling minus commission for £5,500.
Yeah, okay. You can understand that.
Yeah.
It could be a fluke. It could be that just those two people particularly wanted that box and they don't exist anymore. But, show me another one. If somebody's
Yeah,
watching this
absolutely.
and they're collectors, serious collectors, they want that. They will probably never get an opportunity ever again to buy
It's a
it.
great thing.
Yeah.
Um,
yes, indeed.
We want to sell it, don't we?
Absolutely. Yeah, I really, really do. Yeah, and as I say, we've got to touch on the fact that how important this man is even today in modern day
Yeah,
Thailand. I mean, he is credited, and on the back of this European tour as well, of course, of I suppose laying the foundations of ensuring Siam sovereignty,
Right, yes.
and indeed today Thailand's independence.
Sure.
I mean, he was so. I mean, it was brilliant when he came to Europe first. Long before he came to Britain or France, he decides I'm going to visit my most sympathetic and powerful friends.
Right.
So he goes to Germany or Prussia, I beg your pardon, to see Wilhelm II.
Yes.
He then makes his way to, I think it's Nicholas II of Russia.
On this tour, on
Yes.
this very tour.
On this very
so
tour.
we now know then that this box accompanied him to Russia,
Absolutely. Yeah.
to Prussia,
Yeah,
to
and he-
meeting all of these people. That's fascinating, David. You know
really
that
is the
this.
grand tour.
I mean, it is a proper grand
It is
tour.
a
This
proper
is
grand tour.
at another level.
Yeah.
I mean, Christian,
Yeah.
the world of antiques is full of great stories, and
Oh, it's
stories sell
brilliant.
objects. And that thing, there's a Netflix series in that tour, could start here. Genuinely could. Hello, Netflix. I am pitching an idea for Shanghai at the moment, but anyway, never mind.
Yeah.
You start here and you tell the story of that tour, of the
absolutely.
political times before the First World War. Yeah, it was still building. It was building. The troubles, the clouds
Yeah.
were building in 1897.
I mean, strategically, it's a magnificent tour because I believe he also spent time with Otto von Bismarck at his personal residence.
And that was there.
And
That
probably
was
there with that entourage, and that particular visit generated massive media interest across Europe.
Right.
And all of a sudden, we have the King of Siam. I suppose the objective is to put Siam on a par almost with European dynasties,
Right.
and also, by the way, to send a message to those who might threaten
Sure.
Siam's
Yeah.
independence at
Yeah,
the time
yeah,
of their
yeah.
sovereignty. But he gains public. The public sector elevated. They're all very interested in him. So much so that by the time he reaches Britain, I believe he's hosted initially at Buckingham Palace.
Right.
And then he does lunch with Queen Victoria in Osborne House, private residence on the Isle of Wight. I
Isle of
think it
Wight,
is.
well,
Yeah.
that's her favourite
Absolutely.
holiday location, wasn't it? Yeah,
Absolutely. Now,
Yeah. And that was there, David. Again, we're going back to that
Yeah.
same story. That was in existence
yeah.
during all of those meetings. Who did he give it to? You bought it in France?
In France. Now, interestingly, he
Fascinating.
went to France, I believe, after Britain.
Right.
There was concern about the French visit because I think there had been some skirmishes with some French soldiers.
Right.
There was a little bit of territory conceded to the French. There was huge monetary reparation paid. It
Yeah.
was. they weren't quite sure what
Well,
kind
you
of...
have done your research here, Chris.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
Lord,
Very impressive.
He's a historian on Siam.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, this is good.
Well,
But,
it wasn't...
it's true that I always say to someone, if you want to be involved in the world of antiques, everything you buy, before you sell it, become an expert in that object. Then you take that expertise through, and before you know it, you're an expert in a lot of things. You've just, made my point beautifully.
Yeah.
You are the world's best expert on this particular cigar box. There is no doubt about it.
I appreciate that.
So you might go with it.
Yeah.
If someone buys it and it goes to a museum, you might have to go along and give a talk.
Oh, that's no problem. Absolutely, I'm available. But as you say, it's been a brilliant journey.
Wow.
Oh, it's also worth mentioning as well that by the time this man did get to France, he was treated with all the pomp and ceremony that any European dignitary would be treated
Okay.
with.
So he became quite famous on this trip.
He did indeed,
because
yeah.
I'm guessing that the public in Europe wouldn't have known very much about him, but he certainly would have hit the newspapers, and he would have been a very exotic being.
Absolutely.
Did he bring his yacht with him?
He did indeed. Here's something on the yacht for you. The yacht was actually built in Scotland.
Was it?
Yes, by Ramage and Ferguson.
Right.
I think he had ordered 3 from.
Did he?
Yeah, and I believe this
He wasn't
one
short of a bob
was...
or two, was he?
No.
And he spent a lot of money on that. How much would it cost to produce that today? Come on, I mean, for a couple of grand, probably.
Probably with the enamel.
Yeah.
Probably struggle to find someone to do enamel like.
Well, exactly. So he's obviously dripping in money.
It must have been, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
So then we know this is the finest of its type, David.
It's very good.
It is very good.
Very good.
You're going to be selling it.
I am. I feel as though Christian should be.
Well, you know what? I think he sold it already. We'll be getting offers in before it goes to auction.
That's fantastic.
Anything else, Christian, you want to add?
You know what?
I mean, don't worry, you've got another 4 hours.
But you said it yourself, David. Yeah, we have got 4 hours actually, haven't we? Yeah. What time's the train? But
He's got to get back to Ireland. He'll never make it.
Let alone my own story. But again, my own story. Yeah, I've really, really enjoyed the journey. It's a subject that I'm hugely interested in, antiques. And it opens up such a huge world.
It does. Of stories, great stories.
Absolutely. You must remember, I came across this on eBay, and it's a Friday night at home, and I had no idea who this fine gentleman was on this side, and was quite enamoured, obviously, with the fine enamel portrait of this fabulous ship on the other side. And suddenly I find myself sitting in between you two guys, and we're talking over it, like no, you're all right. No, but it's fantastic. I've loved it, and I've loved the journey myself as well.
I've loved the fact that you've made the journey to come and see David and I, and you know that when you sent us the pictures and I sent them to David, we both got very excited by it. So I think it's fantastic. Now, David, over to you. The work now falls on you. Yeah. I will send information to my Chinese buyers and other wealthy, good, known international collectors. I will do that. We'll put the video out on YouTube and Facebook and everyone else. So if you're interested, get in touch. You will. This is, I suppose, we're giving a little bit of an insight to the viewers as to how things work. Me as a broker, you as an auctioneer, Christian as an expert now in this object.
Thank you.
You provided us with the object and the great story expertise.
Yep.
I introduced you to David. I'll introduce it to my buyers. David's got his buyers. When it goes to the market, it will make its fair marketplace.
Yeah.
It's a good combination. We're a good team, chaps.
Absolutely.
We should do more of this. You get back on eBay.
Should,
as soon as you get back to Ireland, get on eBay.
I promise you.
I'll do my bit.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Well, thanks to Christian, we've got some fabulous information there which we can put into the catalogue and do a good description of it, some good footnotes. Tony will get plenty of photographs taken of it, the enamel. Buyers will be they'll ask a lot of questions about that enamel, they will want to know if that's good. So some good detailed photographs, get it online nice and early, and the buyers will find it.
That they will. Yeah. My buyers, your buyers, people watching YouTube. It's going to be very, very interesting. Now we're going to do, because you bought it very sensibly. You were very lucky.
I did indeed.
Well, no, you weren't very lucky actually. The harder you work, the luckier you become, and you put a lot of work into that. So you deserve whatever luck you picked up along the way.
Thank you.
You've got it at the right money. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Are we going to go come and get me to really cause a stir here, David? I mean, I would like to do that, Christian, if
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
are.
Yeah.
It will make its money,
Yeah,
whatever it's worth.
That's fine. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it owes you, but I mean, I would like to put it in at 1,000 to 1,500
Yeah.
estimate.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's come and get me.
And let the market
Yeah.
take it where it needs to go.
That sounds fair.
It'll be fine. It'll find its level.
It's so exciting.
It might even get a few people really behind it, and it could fly.
I think it could. It's got great potential.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's excellent. Yeah.
When is the sale?
Beginning of November.
Beginning of November. Okay. You happy?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Excellent.
David. Yeah,
Wonderful.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Well,
David.
thank you, Christian, and thanks for watching. And if you do buy it, get in touch, and we'll make another
Yeah,
video.
absolutely,
We'll bring the
absolutely.
buyer in.
Yeah,
Do a
why
grand
not?
tour.
We'll do a grand tour.
tour.
And if it goes back to Thailand, the three of us have a boys' trip. How's that?
Why not?
Or maybe we shouldn't to Thailand. I'm not so sure.
Let's wait and see first.
Let's see where it goes.
Talk to the boss.